Find insight, guidance, and answers. Tune into Spirit with radio medium Laura Lee.
Welcome back. I'd like to welcome a special guest today, a special friend, colleague, author, speaker, and radio show personality, Miss Heidi Hollis, who has a unique voice in our paranormally challenged world. She's written books on picture prayers, The Other F Word, which is about faith, The Hat Man, true story about evil encounters, and The Secret War, which discusses her personal experience with shadow people, which is why I've invited her onto today's show. Hi, Heidi.
Hey, how's it going there, Laura?
I'm good. Thank you. And thank you for visiting with us today, because given that we are coming up to the holiday season for Halloween, I thought we'd take a time out and talk to you about shadow people, which I get a lot of people having these personal experiences in their private time, and you're the expert on the subject, and I thought you'd give us some insights about these entities. Could you tell us what shadow people are exactly?
Shadow people are these shape-shifting dark entities that are darker than the dark. They'll change themselves to look like something similar to a man with his head directly connected to his shoulders, or a cat-looking thing, or shadow clouds, shadow streaks, shadow rodents, and sometimes they'll show they have red glowing eyes, and it's just this horrible presence that they give off to people, and people often describe being pinned down, waking up to seeing this black mass around them, and shadow spiders were the ones that really got to me. Oh my gosh. So I wrote about them in my first book called The Secret War while I was in college. And this is news for you, Laura. So I got shadow people and the Hat Man both trademarked now. So
I saw that.
Both mine. Yeah.
You're one of the first people who really came out and started this discussion, which is kept in the closet with a lot of people.
I absolutely did. I mean, who would think you put a name on a whole phenomenon, two phenomenon, and the world wide recognizes
right.
it? So, yeah, it's been quite a ride.
Well, let's talk about, as an expert, what does one do when they encounter these entities or beings that come into their presence?
Well, a lot of times when people are met with these things, they give it strength by being absolutely fearful, and you can't help it.
Right.
So I tell people, do your best, try to stand your ground, don't charge after it, don't try to take it on by yourself. I mean, you absolutely have to call on the opposing force, and that is God, angels, Jesus, and they recognize that strength. They recognize when you're throwing that at them, and they will retreat. And I tell people who are often being, there's an onslaught of these visits, to bless their personal space, because these things are cowards. They like to come in the middle of the night, especially, though they could come at any time of day. And it might take you down while you're already down. Like, really? Like,
right.
What a coward. It's just cowardice. It angers me so much because they're so infiltrating and they're so oppressive and depressive and possessive. So it totally escalates if people do not get a hold of what's going on in their lives with these things.
Right, which leads me to my final question for you. Are there any preventable measures one can take trying to avoid shadow people?
Yeah, don't play with Ouija boards. Don't go to cemeteries. Don't try to conjure things up.
I always tell everybody nothing out there is bad or evil, in the sense, as long as you put the intention, it sets the space as a sacred space to do any work with spirits.
Except for me.
Except for you.
Except for me. Because, my goodness, I wasn't seeking demons, but it's definitely good to bless your space. Keep the light near.
Thank you.
Like, say a prayer at night.
Say a little prayer.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for sharing your time with me, Heidi.
Of course.
How can people learn more about this subject?
They go to HeidiHollis.com, and I also host a podcast called Angels to Aliens with Heidi Hollis. So definitely check it out, my books and the podcast.